Four different proportions means you have four choices for how to write them up. Here's the one example I'm going to use to show this. I'm going to label some sides. I have two similar triangles here, which means their angles are congruent and their sides are all proportional. From this angle, I'm going to label the side across from it lowercase b, and I'm going to label this side little a. Over here, I've got a little s and a little r also, and I'm going to use those four sides to set up proportions. So because the sides are proportional, you could say that the side b is to the side s, which corresponds over in that yellow triangle. B is to s as a is to r. And these two fractions would be equal to each other. And if one piece was missing, you could solve for that. But that's not the only way you could set this up. You could also start with everything in the blue triangle. You could say that side B is related to A the same way that side S is related to side R. You could also set these up in the reverse order. So instead of B to S, you could start with the little yellow triangle and say, well, S is related to B in the same way that R is related to side A. Or you could say that the hypotenuse of the blue triangle A is related to the leg the same way that the hypotenuse of the yellow triangle is related to its leg. All of those are correct. You might start thinking that anything is correct, but that's not true. You can't just set it up in any order. There does have to be some sort of relationship from here to here and also in this direction. Here's an example that wouldn't work. For example, if I said that the side B was related somehow to the side R. That's just not true. So if I set that up, B is to R as A is to S, for example, that's actually not equal. That's not a proportion. So that's an example of one that does not work. I can prove why all of these are true by cross multiplying. So if we cross multiply here, B times R is BR, and that should be equal to this. I'm going to put those in alphabetical order. S times A is AS. Well, what happens if I do that to all of these? There's BR again, and there's AS. So it's the same equation. BR equals AS, and of course BR equals AS. So when you cross multiply, at the very next step, all of these generate the same equation. So I just wanted to point out that whichever relationship among these four makes the most sense to you is the way you should set them up, and then go from there. They all will give you a correct solution at the end. And now you can set up proportions four different ways.